you're the co-founder of fabi.ai, Fabi. So I'd love to understand where that name came from, and maybe you can get to the name by telling us about why you founded the company in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll start with the name actually, and then I'll kind of like back into to why the name makes sense. But Fabi BI, very simple, fast BI, Fabi. Also one of those things where easy to pronounce, easy to spell, memorable, four-letter word with .ai. So everything just
The
kind.
URL was
The
available.
URL is available, and it wasn't for $50,000 or whatever. So the stars kind of aligned for us. So that's the origin of the name. But why we started Fabi is and why Fast BI. I think it might be helpful to like actually talk a little bit about sort of my background, my history, and my co-founders. And so I can actually start with like I got my master's in neurotech at Imperial actually, and I know you studied as well in the UK. And after getting my master's in neurotech, where I was exposed to data science and machine learning, I got hired as a data scientist. That was actually technically my first job out of college.
Can I interrupt you for one quick
Yeah,
second
yeah,
with an Imperial question? Something that blows my mind about Imperial College London is how it is one of the most respected and research productive universities on the planet. It
yeah.
sometimes literally tops as number one, and I feel like it doesn't it doesn't get the name recognition that it deserves, especially in the U.S.
You know what? It's funny. I've always thought about that, and I don't know. In Europe, everyone knows it. Here in the U.S., Oxford, Cambridge, obviously incredible schools, but Imperial, yeah, even compared to like UCL and King's, which I feel like have like kind of bigger names. I don't know. Maybe they need to like rethink their marketing strategy or something in the U.S. because yeah, incredible school, but just not as big of a name.
Yeah, and especially for a technical discipline like you studied, like you might have been doing neurotechnology at the best place in the world that you could have been doing it. So congrats to you. I just felt like you kind of glossed over, you even kind of mumbled Imperial out. So I just wanted to call out
Yeah.
what a big deal it is that you have
Yeah.
there.
No, I appreciate it. Yeah. It was a lot of work, a lot of fun. Loved what I studied there. Definitely surrounded by just incredibly smart people. Definitely lots of people who are like just much smarter than me. I went on to do some incredible things, but yeah, so I did that. And then I got hired as a data scientist thanks to my exposure to data science and machine learning there. And but very quickly, actually, and very naturally, I transitioned into product management. And so that's been I like to say that's been like my bread and butter for the last 10 plus years, where I've been doing product management for data intense SaaS applications, and I've been working on like integrations and AI and embedded analytics. And my co-founder, he's actually sort of similar origin story, but he's got a PhD in computer science and machine learning, and he's actually remained a data scientist, and he's done incredible things as well in his career, including leading data science teams at companies like Lyft, where he's done some really cool things. But him and I met actually when he was leading the data science team and AI team at Clary, and so we worked together very closely there, where I was a counterpart on the product side, and the origin of Fabi and the Fast BI is that I was actually leaning on him a lot for data questions and analyst questions. So I'm sort of like technical. I like to say that I'm technical enough to read and write Python to some degree, but not so much like I'm going and like just doing these things on my own. And like over time as a product manager, those skills like will atrophy because like that's just not what you're doing in your day to day. So like kind of throughout my career, I ended up leaning more and more on my data counterpart, and one of those, I kind of like joke, one of those poor souls was my now co-founder Lay, who would be dealing with my questions, and he would kind of have to like run off on his side and pull up a Jupyter notebook or in his IDE, pull the data and then download it and export it and send it to me. This is like the very early days of Slack, so he'd send it to you over email or Slack as a spreadsheet or PowerPoint or screenshot or something like that. And so we just thought that there would be a much better way for those two parties to collaborate much more effectively, using a combination of AI and also other features that we've sort of built into Fabi.
Cool. Thanks for that intro to the company. And yeah, now the Fast BI thing in Fabi does seem pretty obvious now that you've mentioned that. There's another term associated with your platform that I'd love you to dig into. It's vibe analytics. So, kind of getting on the vibe coding train, but being more it's, I guess focused more at kind of the BI level at like, making an impact in the business, as opposed to say building an application.
Yeah, so there's different feelings about the term vibe. So I use it because I love it. I think it's very descriptive, and I think people immediately understand what it means when we talk about vibe coding and vibe analyzing and vibe building. But I do know that like there's mixed feelings about how what it actually means. But the idea for vibe analytics is that you can actually build data apps or dashboards or workflows primarily through AI. And so one big thing that we built at Fabi is like this. It can be fully autonomous or semi-autonomous AI that can build out these things for you. And so that's really powerful for um, what I call like semi-technical folks, like product managers and CSMs or founders who don't necessarily have the data chops to go and do things like that on their own with existing BI solutions. But now with AI, they can actually literally like just talk to AI, like watch it build that data app or that workflow or that analysis for them. And at the same time, we also believe that can really empower, and what we're seeing is it's really empowering data teams and folks like data scientists because they can also the AI nowadays is just incredible, and it can like truly build out these entire like analyses and help them with exploratory data analysis as well, and let the data scientists ultimately focus on what I would argue is like much higher value tasks than like just the coding. Coding is obviously in itself. It's interesting. It's fun. But if you can kind of like get that out of the way, then the data scientist can actually focus on again on much higher value tasks to actually like move the business forward. So that's the idea of like vibe analytics. There's all sorts of things that we can dig into, John, here too about like what it means to build a vibe analytics platform. Like one big thing that we believe in is like the AI shouldn't be able to like just talk to your data warehouse in real time every single time because like that will sort of like run up the cost of your data warehouse. So you have to be very careful. You don't want to just like put an MCP server in the hands or connection in the hands of your favorite marketer and let them run wild. Like that will be your data warehouse AE will thank you if you do that. So all sorts of implications in what it means to be building a vibe analytics platform.